I'm Gary Marchetti. This is a 1931 Packard 826. So this was the entry model for the Packards in 1931. And it's a straight 8 engine, about 100 horsepower, and it's been completely rebuilt from the ground up. Let me show you the inside. So these are original colors for this car. And this is how it would have looked in the showroom in 1931.
Do you have any history on the car as far as...
A little bit of history on the car. So the car was in Ohio. This truly was a barn find. So it was a complete wreck when we bought this car. But it was all here. So we literally did a frame-off restoration on the car. Redid everything on it. So all new wiring, rebuilt the engine, transmission, rear end, brakes, everything. So it runs just like a new car would run in 1931.
How long did that take?
It took me 18 months to do it. So I was in between jobs at the time. So I had gotten a big payout from my one company. So I said, let's take a year off, and we rebuilt this car in about a year and a half.
So this is what it looked like when you started.
That's what it looked like when we first got it. And so you can see it needed a little bit of TLC. And the car had been in an area where it had been a fire, and so everything got really hot. So it melted all the rubber, actually even melted the arms on the Goddess of Speed up in the front, and her arms were drooping, and we had to straighten those out. And you can see sort of here's what the engine was looking like when we got it. So it needed a little TLC, but it was all there, which is nice. So if you're going to restore a car, it's good to find one that most of the parts are there, because to find the parts for a 31 Packard is really difficult. 36 and on, you can find the parts, but stuff that's earlier than that, really difficult to find parts. But there are guys who have them. They've got little stashes of parts in there.
Thank you. Great job.
All right, thank you.
Dave Brizik, 1937 115 business coupe. We've owned it since 1975. I used to see it by the Fullerton Airport when I was driving to my school I taught at, La Mirada High School. I finally bought it. We had it partially restored at a place I can't even think of the name now. It was in Santa Ana, but Robert Escalante rescued it from that place. And they finished the job just recently in the last 3 or so years. It became this. It was restored somewhat mechanically, but it was not really running, and we didn't use it a lot because we had other Packards in the interim. But now we have just the one, and we're quite happy with it. It's obviously a 6-cylinder, not a V8 or an 8, but we have overdrive so we can take the freeway speeds no problem. And we've had it judged here 2 years ago at Benedict Castle. Of course, our membership meet, because we only live a short distance from where we're having them now, down in Newport Beach. So it's been a good car, and my wife drives it occasionally. I drive it mostly. She's here somewhere, and we don't expect to do much, but we did want to bring it out and show it off. So I don't know a lot other than it's a 6-cylinder. I think when they redid it, they bored it out a little more, so it has a lot more horsepower than initially it had in 1937 when it was the cheapest car they made. I think it was $970. But I could see why businessmen used it a lot, because it does have a fair amount of space behind the seats, and it has a huge trunk. And of course, you know, you got one other seat in there for one passenger, and they probably filled it with merchandise. But it's a great car. I think it's the largest production they had in 37 was of this particular model. Yeah, they just redid this. It was all screwed up. And then this front edge, so I got to be very careful when I lower this stuff.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Bill Maya. My wife Kim and I own this 1956 Packard Caribbean convertible. It's been in our family about 12 years. We've had it as such. There is 274 Caribbeans manufactured that year. This is number 168. And only 10 had factory error. This is one of 10. The car has been shown numerous times. Most recently at Pebble Beach. Right? We were invited to be there, which was kind of nice. The whole thing was very exciting. But here we are again. It's orange, cream, and black car. Orange, cream, and black car. When I told my wife I bought that car, she said to me, well, how many cocktails did you have? But the fact of the matter is, it's a very beautiful car, as you can see. If I could show you the inside, it has reversible seats, where they have the fabric that they would use in the wintertime. And in the summer, they can be flipped, as you see in the back, and it's leather seating, so they can flip it over and forward. Again, it has factory air. This has push-button drive on the transmission, which was highly unusual. 56 was the last year that they made the car. 57, I believe Packard went out of business at that point in time. If you want to take a look at the inside, you can see the push-button dashes here, and it's much like an aircraft plane. A lot of people have said that to me. They said it looks like you're flying a plane. It's got 38,500 original miles on the car. The car was restored by a fellow named Eric Miller and his dad. In fact, when we were at Pebble Beach last year, Eric Miller came to Pebble Beach to see the car there because he had promised his dad that somehow, some way, the car would be on Pebble Beach. And so it was a magnificent story. He was crying. He was just really excited the fact that the car that he and his dad had put together, in fact, was at Pebble Beach. Another big feature of the car is I get a lot of compliments on these antennas. If you can take a look at the antennas in the background, they're 5 feet antennas. Why they needed 2, I have no idea, but they had 2 of them. Another big feature of the car is it has 2 roofs. It has a vinyl top, but inside it's orange. And inside, if you look in there, you can see that the orange cover is there. Again, rather unique feature. The car weighs 4,960 pounds, and it takes all of your leg muscle to stop this car. If I go faster than 50 or 55, I'm always concerned, can I stop in time? So, it has the Kelsey wheels, if you take a look down here. Each of those spokes are like with my fingers in and out of them, so when I drive them, and I drove down this morning from San Clemente, it's a lot of work to keep these windows, keep these wheels clean. So, and I don't know what else to share except we really love the car. Thank you.
Let's take a look at the motor.
Go for it.
I'll be right back. Or I'll stay with you.
Get the cubic, it's That's 374 cubic inches. And the 8 inch, 310 horsepower. And it needs it all to move this car. It's a very heavy car. And again, it's one of 10 that have factory air. So I thank you. Hope you enjoy the car.
Yeah.